Welcome back, traders, to this installment of xauusd trading strategy weekly highs and lows technical analysis. Now this is going to be a midweek analysis. Obviously today is Wednesday, middle of the week. In the UK we refer to it as hump day, middle of the week, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pick up from where we left off. And if you paid attention to the video that I did previous to this one, right, I believe that came out on a Monday. Okay, you should have seen an opportunity when it presented itself, and that opportunity arrived yesterday. Now before I go into all of the technicals of that, what I need you to do, if you haven't done so already, is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like, especially if you find the content I'm sharing with you today super useful. So let's get into the business of it, right? Now before we do, let's do a bit of cleanup first before I get into what I spotted, what could be of interest, and all the other cool stuff that we want to talk about. So during the video that I did previously, okay, previous video, I talked about the two levels that were of the most importance to me in regards to if I was going to jump into gold or not. Now I've taken two trades with gold so far, right? So I took one yesterday and I took one today, and I'm in the one today now, and the one I was in yesterday I got closed out of due to trailing stop, and I got closed out of that today. But ideally, if I had done everything properly, right, I would still be in that trade now, and I would not have needed to go in again, right? So basically what happened was this: yesterday the signal I was waiting for arrived, and that was the weekly high over here was taken out, and that was taken out around 1:30 in the afternoon yesterday. So what I did was I hopped in on the opening of this one right here. Let me make that one black. Okay, I hopped in on that one over here, and I rolled it up, and it was doing great, right? And I had my trailing stop. So if you want to know what a trailing stop is, when you move your stop loss to lock in profits you've already made. So even if market goes against you, you don't lose that trade. You don't get as much as you could have gotten if your TP was hit, but however, you don't walk away from the party empty-handed, right? So I had my trailing stop about here. That's where I had my trailing stop, in or around that area, right there. And then what happened was, obviously I'm getting on with my day. I see market has flown all the way down to around this level. It doesn't touch my trailing stop, and it blossoms up. So I'm thinking I'm all in the clear. And reason why I thought I was all in the clear was we had this structure up here, right? So we had this descending flag up here, normally pushes up to the upside. As you can see, it's pushed up to the upside already, right? So I had that one, so I had it set up like that, right? My trailing stop was under here, and the reason why I had my trailing stop at this level, because that was the low of today. So that's the lowest point of today prior to the situation that happening, right? So let me just drag that across so it makes a little bit more sense. So the low of today was set around here. So that would have been around, let's just say, that would have been around 2773.35. So that was where I had placed it. I was like, look, if it goes any lower than that, then obviously I'm out. I don't trust it anymore, right? So what happened was, during around 1 p.m. or at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, somewhere give or take, market came in and shook me out. So I was like, okay, cool, fine. I didn't do bad. I've got a bit of profit, and market has closed me out. So I waited to see what it was going to do. So as market obviously continued doing this thing, I could see that it was beginning to push up. So it was beginning to push up now, right? So I waited for the next candle. And when the next candle appeared, it came and it flew all the way down here first. So this is where it opened at. So it opened at this level, and then it flew all the way down here. So at this level right here was where I decided that I was going to jump in with another buy, because I am bullish on gold. Like I've said that I don't know how many times already, but I'm bullish on gold. So I jumped in on this level. So right now, this trade is currently open. I'm sitting in it right now. I am in a little bit of profit, and we're going to see where that goes. So that could continue pushing up for today and the rest of tomorrow, I hope, right? Or it can begin to collapse. Reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because today is Wednesday, right? And one thing that I normally keep an eye on, especially as we move through the market, like from Tuesday onwards, I start to keep an eye on market highs and market lows. Why I do that? Because usually during from Tuesday onwards, right, I can expect either the high of the week to be set or the low of the week to be set. So right now, as it stands, right, market right now is at this level, and this could very easily become the weekly high. This level right here could very easily become the weekly high, and I have to be mindful of that, right? Hence why when I got in a trade, I was making sure that my stop was below today's low, right? And as we move forward, I will then obviously adjust that, and I would actively be bringing in the trailing stop just because of the day that we're in, which is a Wednesday. So if the high of the week isn't set today, I would expect it to be set on Thursday. If it is not set on Thursday, I'm expecting it to be set on Friday. If it is not set on Friday, happy days, right? Happy days. Because it could easily go in one direction for the whole of this week all the way up, right? All the way up. Now, my price target for market is actually $3,000, right? A lot of people are calling it, I don't know, 900, etc. But I think between now and the election, an ounce of gold is going to be at $3,000, right? And if you look here on the hourly, it doesn't look like it could get there, right? But however, if you go to the day, it looks very plausible. I mean, literally, $3,000 is only up here. It's only up here, and this is what market is currently doing now, right? At $3,000, this is where I'm expecting some type of correction. Now, it could happen. It might not happen. Only time will tell. But this is the vibe that I'm going off of right now, right? As market does what market is doing, okay? So as it stands, let me go back to the hour. So as it stands, if you are thinking about getting into the market, I'm going to highlight some areas of interest for you if you haven't spotted them already. Now, in saying that, it's important I say this, because I always say this in every video. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. It's super important that everything I'm telling you makes absolute sense before you commit your capital to it, right? And if it all goes wrong, it's all your fault. It's not my fault, it is your fault, right? You are responsible for your money, nobody else's. And bearing in mind, you're not actually giving it to me, you're trading it yourself. So, before we do all of that, let me get rid of some of these noise that we got down here. I'm going to keep the FVGs at the bottom still active, because that may come in handy later, right? That may come in handy later, so you want to keep them there. And then I'm going to point out other areas of interest for you guys as well. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have an FVG in this area right here that price could visit. Let me make that blue. Okay. And let's see if there's any additional FVGs that I could have missed. And there was the one today that obviously messed me up, but that's already been tapped. So this FVG has already been tapped a couple of times, right? And then we have another FVG right here. Okay. And we have another FVG right here, right? So as it stands, these are the levels of interest, and my stop for this particular trade that I'm in right now, right? So this particular trade that I'm in right now, it is going to be, where did I put that thing? I placed it around here somewhere. So I placed it around here. I couldn't see any obvious dangers. Maybe if I go to the 5-minute, I might see, or 50-minute, I might see FEG in this area. But I don't take the lower time frame FEGs that seriously. I only consider the higher time frame. The higher, the stronger. The higher the time frame, the stronger the FEG. The lower the time frame, the weaker the FEG. So I prefer anything over an hour and above. I would take that FEG relatively seriously. Anything below that, I don't take that serious at all. I do know that they do get respected. Okay, I'm not knocking that. I know they do get respected, but however, I don't take them that seriously, especially in regards to my style and how I trade, etc. Right? So these are the levels that we want to keep an eye on, right? Because that was a bit of a rant, went on a bit of a tangent. So let's just draw little labels on these. Okay. So you want to keep an eye on these zones for these FEGs. Now, you should be able to see it clearly on your screen because I'm not actually going to call them out. Okay, so these are the levels of interest. So feel free to pause it and capture these levels so you can assign them to your own charts as well. Okay. So these are the levels of the FEGs, right? So that high side, low side, high side, low side, high side, low side, right? So you want to keep an eye on those as market does what market is doing. And we will see what direction it actually moves in the early hours of the morning. So I'll probably be in bed. But bottom line is I should see by tomorrow if I'm in a good spot or if I'm in a bad spot or if I'm going to manually jump out of that position, right? So these are things that I'm going to be keeping my eye out on as we move forward. Let me add this thing right here so I know for video's sake that I put that there. Now, in regards to the trade that I took yesterday, there were a couple of things that actually helped me navigate that area, right? So I'm going to share that with you now because I didn't mention it. Okay. So one of the main levels of interest that I was looking at when I was trading and when I was looking to get into this position that I took over here, right? What made me do it was this FEG right here. So when I saw this FEG right here, I knew price was going to go in. But what I didn't want to do, right? Because remember, I had two situations that could have went against me. So which was the first was price has come into this FEG over here. So it's already gone into this FEG over here, right? And we had the wick through the actual weekly high. Let me bring this down a little bit so it's on level. Okay, so price had come up close to the weekly high, right? So in my mind, I was like, look, this is still ranging, right? And I don't really want to take this trade if it hasn't taken out a weekly high or a weekly low. That was one of the main things I was looking out for. It had to take out a weekly high or weekly low for me to jump in, for it to make sense. Other than that, I was just going to wait and monitor the situation. So when I saw this FEG appear and I saw that market had tapped into it, and then I saw this super wick through, okay, that was the first thing to say, hey, you should think about jumping into the market right about now. And then the second was the fact that I noticed that the weekly high had been taken out. So it made this trade that much more acceptable to take. And that's why I took it, right? This second trade that I took, in all fairness, right, is a bit of a FOMO. If I'm to be honest with you, it's a bit of a FOMO trade, right? Because reason being is, there isn't really any strong indicator to say why I should be in this trade that I'm in right now. Okay, right? Because I want to hold it for a good couple days, like when I get into these trades. And hadn't my trailing stop not been hit, I would still be in that first trade now, and I would not have placed another one, right? So as it stands, I am waiting to see what's going to happen in the early hours of this morning and what's going to happen tomorrow, if price is going to continue to push up. I hope my FOMO is correct and it continues to go up. But if I'm wrong, this is going to be one of the trades that I'll just say, you know what, just take this L for the team, you know, and at least you've learned from it. You know, I should have known not to get in, but I got in anyways, right? to try to recoup the additional profits that I wanted, right? So I need to decide what I'm really going to do. So my first thought right now is to bring in a trading stop and place it around and place that trading stop around this level right here before I go sleep tonight. All right, so place the trading stop around this level, which is just a little tiny bit of profit, or I could just let the whole thing run and then see what actually happens in the early hours of the morning. Right, so this is where I'm at the moment. So in the next video I could turn around and say, by the end of this video I decided, you know what, it's not worth it, let me just jump out. And before I even get into all of that, let me just take a look to see if there's any news that could really disrupt things tomorrow. Let's just have a quick look. Okay, so tomorrow we have core PCE price index, employment cost index, and unemployment claims, right? So with all of this going on, and this is going to be taking place at 12:30 tomorrow, I think I'm going to need to make a decision as to if I really need to be in the trade I'm in right now. So let's just get back to what we was looking at. So I'm going to think about that some more. I might jump out, I might stay in and just wait for the news tomorrow and see how everything kind of plays out, right? So right about now, you should be seeing two thumbs. One of them is going to be on backtesting videos, and the other is going to be on the previous video to this one. So make sure you go and check them all out, and I will see you all on the next one.